I'm so excited to be here tonight because I get to tell you the truth about Toastmasters, the living truth. And I want to start my story at a young age, a very young age, I might add. And I was only 5 years old when I discovered that speaking in front of an audience was not for me. And let me tell you how that happened. Even I was surprised. I love to be very small because when I was young, I was not allowed to give an opinion. And I felt that if I was small, I wouldn't have any issue to deal with. And that worked really well until I turned 5 years old and my mother decided that I was going to be on the stage with the school kindergarten play for Christmas. And guess what I was? She made me a snowman costume. And mind you, that wasn't really special because there were so many other snowman costumes. All the kids were snowmen, but she worked so hard on that costume. And I learned to do my dance, and we did it for weeks on end, and I knew it so well, and we did it in the classroom. And I was perfectly comfortable there. Well, the day came when we actually had to do the dance. And guess what? It was on stage. I found myself saying, "Teacher, teacher, not me, I'm not going on stage. I don't want to be on stage." And she said, "You have to go on stage because the whole class is going on stage. Besides, your mom made this beautiful snowman costume." So they put it on me. And it was very large, and I had my hands way out to the side. I couldn't put them down, and I felt so awkward. I knew if I fell, I was going to tumble over on top of this whole costume and knock other children over, which made me even more and more insecure. So she said, the teacher, "You can go in last. Don't worry about a thing. You'll stand to the back on the right side, and you're the last one coming in." And I came in. Now remember, I was only 5. And I looked at the whole audience, and I felt, as a 5-year-old, they were all looking right at me. So what did I do? I backed up, and I saw the curtain was here. So pretty soon, the curtain was wrapping all around me, and I was trying to hide the costume, but I couldn't hide it because it was so big. I was petrified, and worse yet, I never did a step, and when I came off the stage, I had broken my mother's heart. She had worked for weeks to make this costume and said, "Why didn't you dance?" And I didn't even have an answer. When I was 16 years old, my grandfather was a star in this awesome group of men that he belonged to, and he was way high up, and he had watched me play the clarinet for years, and I played in the band, and I had the horn up here and the horn down here, and I was perfectly happy. I marched in formation with all the rest of the band, and I played on the bleachers, and I was the first chair. I did a great job. So my grandfather said to me, "Shirlene, why don't you play at the father-daughter dinner for me? I would love to have you as my entertainment." And I thought, awesome. And we picked the song. It was Moon River. I spent weeks practicing Moon River. I knew it in my sleep. I didn't need any music at all. It was awesome. And everybody who walked in that heard me play said, "You got it. You've really got it." Well, guess what? My grandfather picked me up. I had my clarinet with me in the little case, and guess what? He told me how proud he was of me and how happy he was that I was going to be the entertainment for that night. And I was so excited until we walked in. Guess what? There was a stage, yet again. I stepped onto the stage when it was my time, and I thought, you know what? It's not going to matter. But guess what happened? I had prepared myself, I'd warmed up, and when I got on the stage, it went, woo! And I was like, oh, did I do that? Was that me? And do you know, I stood there for another 5 minutes and I could never get a word. song of any kind or a word out of my mouth to make the excuse. I can't even remember. I must have passed out because I don't remember getting off the stage or riding home with my grandfather that night. Well, then, it wasn't long after that. I believe I was about 28 years old. So yes, it was kind of long. But I had a cowboy who came up to me and said, "You need to come to Toastmasters." And I said, "No, no, no, not me. I'm not doing it." And he convinced me that Toastmasters was my way into the world. And believe me, it was. I did all of the manuals. I was an area governor. I coached clubs, I built clubs, I had eight different clubs when I was an area governor, and I became a distinguished Toastmaster. And the reason I say from Toastmasters to TV show host is because that is what I am today. And if you want to really push Toastmasters and to really make yourself shine based on what you've learned with Toastmasters, step up, step out. Make yourself move forward. Use what you've learned. And I have 3 very short tips for you. If you want to be a guest expert on TV, here's what you do. First of all, you have to know who you are. What is your mission and your message? Second, you need to know your demographic. That's so important. What is your demographic? Really think about that. And the last thing, the third most important tip, is to speak your client's perfect language. That's what I've learned. That's what will really help you as an entrepreneur in the future to make a big bang. And then maybe you'll be a guest expert on my show. I can't wait to see you there. And that's why I'm here to tell you the truth about Toastmasters.